Hello and welcome to my channel. In this section of the video, we are going to cover 10 practice questions that you should expect to have gone through before you take your PMP exam. So these are the practice questions which I've also created. However, my extra effort was to link these specific practice questions to pages or sections in the PMBOK edition 8, where you can also go and make reference in case there are some weak areas you've discovered as you practice. You can also make reference to the PMBOK, and then you can also get some explanations. So these 10 practice questions, they are also helpful because we are going to cover the question, and then we are also going to cover the answer, and then we are also going to make a reference to the PMBOK 8th edition, which is the current version, where you are going to be able to go through the concepts, the ideas, the domain, and also the process groups. So these 10 questions, they are going to be a mixture of easy, hard, and very hard questions. But I believe the moment you go through them, the moment you understand the concept of eliminating some of these answers, the better for you as you go to as you go to your PMP exam. So let's move on. So practice question number 1. A stakeholder is confused about project objectives during initiation. What should the project manager do first? Okay. So the important point here is, what should the project manager do first? Okay. So I consider this question in terms of difficulty to be a bit on the easy side, because a stakeholder is confused about the project objective during initiation. What should the project manager do first? Number 1, ask the stakeholder to wait until execution begins. So by way of the right mindset, if you see something to do with wait, it means you're delaying the project. So that makes this option not the good answer. Number B, clarify the objective and confirm alignment with the stakeholder. This one makes sense. Remove the stakeholder from the communication list. You don't just go and remove stakeholders from communication list because they are confused about project objectives. So this makes this answer incorrect. Okay. Escalate the confusion to the steering committee. The responsibility of the project manager is to manage the project on a day-to-day basis. So escalation is the last option. And in this case, you have not yet even engaged the stakeholder, and therefore you cannot just go straight into escalation. So that makes B the correct answer. So B is the correct answer. Clarify the objective and confirm alignment with the stakeholder. So what helps us to answer the question on B, if you go to PMBOK edition 8, you're going to find that there's a stakeholder performance domain on page 67 up to 78. So you can also use that for your additional reading. So what does it say? It says a stakeholder domain emphasizes, identifying stakeholders, planning engagement, communication, managing engagement, and also monitoring. So this is what you get from the PMBOK. So as a practice question, this is also very important to make reference to the PMBOK, which is going to be the book that we use throughout. So what is the mindset that we can use or that was used to eliminate here? Clarity before escalation, engage stakeholders early. So this is the mindset. So it makes B the best answer because early stakeholder engagement prevents misunderstanding and also supports alignment before work advances. So we have answered this question. We have made reference to the PMBOK pages and what does it state, which is also here. And we have also applied a mindset, to answer this question. So B is the correct answer. Practice question number 2. The team is unsure which development approach is best because requirements are still emerging. What should the project manager do? So what is happening here? The team is unsure because the development approach, they're unsure which development approach is best because the requirements are still coming in. So they are still receiving requirements. What should the project manager do? So here there's no first, but what should the project manager do? Okay. So let's go to the answers. Number 1, select a predictive approach because it is always more controlled. Okay, but if the requirements are still coming in, most likely this is not a predictive approach, so we leave this one for now. Tailor the approach based on uncertainty, deliverables, okay, uncertainty, deliverables, and organizational context, okay. This looks good. Delay the project until the requirements are fully known. Never delay a project, a mindset. This is a very good mindset. Never delay a project. So this one, I'm going to eliminate it straight away. Ask the sponsor to choose without team input. The sponsor and the project manager, they are not subject matter experts. So the team is the one which is supposed to choose, not the sponsor, making this an incorrect answer. So now we are left with two options. We have the tailor approach and also select a predictive. So since the requirements are still coming in, this is likely going to be predictive. This is going to be agile. So we eliminate this one, making B the best answer in this scenario. So B is our best answer. So now let us go through what can we reference from the PMBOK pages, okay? So if you go to PMBOK page, you go to tailoring on page 103 to 112. What does it say? It says tailoring adapts the development approach, processes, engagement, and also project management practice to the organization, also project context. So what is the mindset that we are applying here? We are applying tailor the method to the context instead of forcing approach. So this is always a good practice. In practice, always tailor every approach based on the project context, not just because it has been written somewhere or it was said by someone somewhere. So that makes B the best answer because uncertainty and changing requirements call for tailoring, not default or sponsor only decision. Okay. So this makes B the best answer. Practice question number 3. A customer asks why the project is important to the organization. What should the project manager emphasize? Okay. So I consider the difficulty here to be easy. A customer is asking why the project is important to the organization. So what is the project manager supposed to emphasize? So number A, the number of sponsors, the number of reports the project will produce. I don't know how this is going to explain to the customer why the project is very important. Number B, the project value, outcomes, and expected benefits. This makes sense. The internal project management software being used. This does not explain to the customer why the project is very important. So definitely we're going to eliminate this one. The personal preferences of the project sponsor. Projects are not done because of project sponsor personal preferences. They are done to add value to the organization. So eliminating this one, making B the best answer in this scenario. So what the project manager is supposed to emphasize is the project value. Okay, this is very important. The project outcome and expected benefits. So once this is explained to the customer, they should be able to understand why the project is being undertaken. So what are we referencing in our PMBOK? We are referencing page 40 to 42, which says you should focus on value, okay? The focus on value, which is here, value principle emphasizes decisions that protect intended outcomes, benefits, and stakeholder value, okay? Stakeholder value, rather than simply producing some outputs. So what mindset should we apply here, okay? Always connect project work to value and outcome. So this is a very important mindset to consider here. Making B the best answer because PMP thinking focuses on value delivery and benefits, not just documents and internal activity. Making B the best answer. Practice question number 4. And also the difficulty is considered to be easy here. A deliverable is finished and needs customer acceptance. What should the project manager use? Okay. A deliverable is finished and needs customer acceptance, which means you've finished the deliverable. Now we want the customer to accept. What should the project manager use? Okay. A, validate the deliverable with appropriate stakeholder, okay, for acceptance. B, start the next deliverable without review. Okay, so this obviously can be eliminated. You cannot start the next deliverable without review of the customer. So we can eliminate this one straight away. Ask the team to decide whether the customer will like it. The team cannot decide. There must be some acceptance criteria from the client, not for the team to decide. Making this eliminated as an answer. Close the project immediately. You don't close the project because There's an acceptance that has to be done by the customer, making this one eliminated, making A the best answer in this scenario. So A is the best answer. Validate the deliverable with the appropriate stakeholder for acceptance. So that makes sense. So what is now our reference in our PMBOK? We go to page 35 to 46, where we are saying scope performance domain. So the scope domain covers the requirements, scope definition, structure, scope monitoring, and also validation. So what is the mindset that is applicable also in this scenario? You need to validate complete work with the right stakeholders. This is very important. If you need your deliverable to be accepted, then you must go to the right stakeholders so that they can validate the work. Making A the best answer because scope validation confirms that completed deliverables, they meet acceptance criteria before moving on. So B, the best answer. Sorry, A, the best answer in this scenario. Okay, practice question number 5. A team member is blocked by dependents owned by another team. Okay, what should the project manager do first? This is very important. So the difficulty here is also classified as easy. So the best thing now is to be able to understand the problem statement. The team member is blocked. So this is the problem because there's a dependence on another team. So the problem is the team member is supposed to do something, but is being blocked because of some other work to be done by another team. What should the project manager do first? Okay. So let's go through the answers. Number 1, blame the other team in the status report. As a project manager, you don't blame people in a project. You work with the team to find a solution. So thereby eliminating this one as an answer. Then B, remove the blocker by facilitating coordination with the dependence owner. Okay. This will make sense because it's removing the blocker here. Number C, replace the blocked team member. As a project manager, you don't rush to replace team members without understanding the problem or without trying to resolve the problem, thereby eliminating this one as an answer. Then D, ignore the dependence until the next phase. Never ignore anything in a project if you're a project manager. So eliminating this as an answer, making B the best answer in this scenario. So B is the best answer. You need to remove the blocker by facilitating coordination with the dependence owner. So this is one of the responsibilities of the project manager. You are supposed to remove any impediments or any blockers in a project environment. And our reference is also in the PMBOK, page 79, where we are covering the domain on resource performance. Okay, so the resource domain includes planning resources, eliminating, estimating, and also acquiring resources. Right. So what mindset are we talking about here? Save the team by removing impediments and also facilitating collaboration. This is very important. So this is the mindset that you can also use as you practice your PMP questions. You also need to apply some mindset. So making B the best answer in this scenario because the project manager should help the team progress by coordinating dependencies and not blaming team members. Making B the best answer. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to click the like button, subscribe button, and the notification button so that you are the first person to be notified each time a new video is uploaded on this channel. It will also help the channel to grow. It will also help the channel to produce more videos like this one. Right. Practice question number 8. Okay. Practice question number 6. Sorry. Practice question number 6 is: a new risk has been identified during a project meeting. What should the project manager do first? Okay. So this is also classified the difficulties as something that is very easy. So what is our problem statement? The new risk has been identified. So there's a new risk here that has been identified during a meeting. Okay. So the issue here is there's a new risk. So what is supposed to be done by the project manager? Let's go through the answers. Okay. Number 1, add it to the risk register and analyze it. Okay. It's expected that as a project manager, the first thing you have to do is to add to the risk register. But let's see the other answers. I like this one. Ignore it unless it becomes an issue. Never ignore a risk as a project manager. Eliminating this answer straight away. Escalate every risk to the CEO. Project manager is supposed to run the project, not to be escalating each and every item. So that eliminates this answer. Okay. Close the project until the risk disappears. You cannot just close a project because there's a risk. You try to mitigate against the risk, or you try to come up with a risk response so that if that is going to materialize, you know how to react, making A the best answer. So you need to add this to the risk register and then analyze it. So which domain are we talking about? We are talking of risk performance domain, which you can find on the PMBOK on page 92 to 102. So this risk domain includes also planning risk, identifying them, analyzing them, planning implementation responses, and also monitoring the risks. So what mindset did we apply in this question? You need to capture, you need to analyze, and also respond to risk proactively, which is very important. So never ignore a risk in any project environment. Making A the best answer, because risks should be documented, they should be assessed before deciding the appropriate response that you're going to do for that risk. Making A the best answer. Practice question number 7. A stakeholder says the weekly report is too technical. Okay, what should the project manager do? What is the project manager supposed to do? So the issue here is a stakeholder is complaining that the weekly report is too technical. Okay, so which means they are receiving some information which they are not probably understanding because it's technical. So let us look at the answers that we have here. Stop communicating with the stakeholder. You don't stop communicating with the stakeholder because they are complaining of your report. So that will eliminate this answer straight away. Okay. Adjust the communication style to the stakeholder's information needs. This makes sense. You need to tailor communication based on the stakeholder requirements. Then on C, ask the stakeholder to learn the technical terminology. You don't do this to your stakeholders. Not every stakeholder should supposed to be technical. So this will eliminate this answer straight away. Send the same report more frequently. This is not going to resolve the issue. So most likely this is unlikely going to be the answer, making B the best answer in this scenario. So you need to adjust the communication style to the stakeholder information needs. Every communication should be tailored based on the stakeholder needs. So which domain are we referring to in the PMBOK? We are referring to stakeholder performance domain, which is on page 67. Okay. So what does it say? It says the stakeholder domain emphasizes identifying stakeholders, planning engagement, communication, managing engagement, and also monitoring both engagement and also communication to the stakeholder. In terms of mindset, what mindset are we talking about here? You need to adapt communication to stakeholder needs. Not every communication should be sent to stakeholders. It has to be tailored based on their needs. So making B the best answer because the effective communication is tailored to the audience and also engagement needs. This is very important. So when if you look at the process groups in the project management process, you find there is a stakeholder engagement plan. So this is where you also need to put the communication needs that you need to apply there. So making B the best answer. If you want to understand more and to learn more about PMP mindset, I have created a full video on PMP mindset, about 30 mindset that you can go through. You can also watch it on my channel. I'll also leave a link in the description below. You can also download the 30 PMP mindset questions. I'll also leave a link in the description below. Right, practice question number 8. The project team, they want to improve quality before defects reach customer. Okay, what is the best approach? So here you're going to look at the best approach. This is also considered the difficulty to be easy. So what is our issue here? The project team, they want to improve quality. So there's quality improvement that is required before the defects, they actually reach the customer. So let us look at the answers now. Number 1, or A, build quality checks into the work process. Makes sense. Quality should be done throughout the project. And B, wait for the final inspection only. So the moment you see the word wait, it means you're delaying something. So if you wait until the final inspection, what if it's not correct? You're going to get some delay. So we eliminate this. Then C, reduce testing to save time. You want to improve quality. So the moment you reduce testing, most likely you're also going to affect quality negatively. So, and we are going to eliminate this answer. Ask the customer to find the defects later. You don't ask the customer to find the defects. You need to correct the defects before they actually reach the customer. So making A the best answer in this process. You need to build quality throughout the project. So you need to also to make sure that you have quality checks into the work process. So during your execution process, you also have to make sure that you have your quality checks. So which domain are we looking at here, or principle? You need to embed quality into deliverable. So you can also get this from the PMBOK. So the quality principles, it emphasizes building quality into processes and deliverable, okay, instead of relying only on the inspection, okay? So what mindset are we applying here? You need to build quality in and do not inspect it only at the end. This can lead to delays in the project, making A the best answer, because quality should be embedded into processes and deliverables throughout the project, making A the best answer. All right. Practice question number 9. Okay. A sponsor asks for a feature that was not in the approved scope. What should the project manager do first? Okay. So this is very important. A sponsor is asking for a feature which was never approved in scope. What is supposed to be done by the project manager? Number 1, implement it immediately to please the sponsor. This word please is what is spoiling this answer. You don't do things in a project to please the sponsor, okay? And you don't rush into implementing something immediately, so thereby eliminating this answer. Review the change through the agreed change process. This makes sense because this is coming in as a change. It was not part of scope, remember. So it's a change to scope. So we leave this one out for now. Number C, refuse all sponsor request. This does not resolve the problem, so we eliminate it straight away. Ask the team to work overtime. It is advisable that you don't ask your team to work overtime. They have to try to make sure that they work throughout the normal times. So making B the correct answer in this scenario. So B is our correct answer. And what domain are we looking at from our PMBOK? We are looking at governance performance domain, which is page 10 to 37. So what does it say? It says the governance domain supports alignment, okay? So alignment, accountability, decision path, performance monitoring, assessing, and also implementing changes. So what mindset are we talking about here? We use governance, okay? We use governance and change control instead of formal changes. So this was a new feature which was being asked for. So it has to go through the formal change process, making B the best answer, because scope changes should be assessed, decided through the approved governance path. So making B the correct answer. Number 10, the project manager notices how team members are disagreeing about how to complete a task. What should the project manager do? Okay, so the difficulty here level is also C. So is to facilitate, okay, a discussion. Okay, that makes sense. Remove both team members. You don't remove team members from the project, making this incorrect. Ignore the conflict permanently. You cannot ignore anything in a project environment, okay? Then escalate immediately. You don't escalate until you try to resolve the problem. So making A the best answer in this scenario. And we are talking of resource performance. So what is our mindset here? Is to facilitate collaboration and also help team resolve issues. Making A the best answer because the project manager should support health conflict and also resolution. If you want me to create more videos based on what we've gone through in this video, you can reach out to me or you can let me know in the comment section below.